My dear friends, I am Kedar Mahapatra again before you to speak few words about the most powerful parts of speech in a sentence, that is the verb. The verb is the most important part in a sentence. In my previous video, I was telling that a sentence is divided into two parts. One is subject and another is predicate. So the predicate, inside the predicate, the verb is the most important part of speech in a predicate. Coming to parts of speech, in my last videos I have said that there are 8 parts of speech are there. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, interjunction and conjunction. So verb, it denotes an action, state or being. Verb has come from the Latin word verbum, which means it is very important. So friends, verb is defined as something that asserts something about a person or a thing. Verb asserts something about a person or thing. For example, the girl is singing. The verb asserts that the girl is singing. The boy is playing. The verb playing asserts that the girl is involved in the work of playing. So, verb is an important word. It denotes the action. It denotes a movement. It denotes a circular or perpendicular or horizontal or vertical movement. Verb denotes the revolution as well as rotation. Verb is the progress. Verb is starting from one point and reaching at another point. Verb is action. Verb is movement. Verb is progress. Verb is not static. Verb does not stay at a time. So that is why verb is a dynamic concept in the English grammar. In that reason, verb is also little difficult to use and to understand, because it changes a little bit inside the sentence, where the noun, pronoun and other things, they does not change as verb. So friends, today I came here to discuss the 2 types of verbs, the transitive verb and the intransitive verb. So transitive verb and intransitive verb is when an action done by a doer or a subject pass from the subject to an object, then it is called transitive verb. For example, the player kicked the football. The player kicked the football. It is the action is the kicked. So what happened? The player came and he hit the football. Then the football flew on the air. When the football flew on the air, then the player cannot retrieve his action. It is the transition. It is the passing over. It is the movement. So, transitive verb involved 2 things. One is the subject, that is the player, and another is the object, that is the football. The player kicked the football, and so what is happened? The performed, the action is the kicking, that is the verb, and it is transitive verb because it involved subject is the player and object is the football. So friends, in that manner, he laughed loudly. The boy laughed loudly. Here, there is no object is there. Subject is the boy. He laughed. He laughed. When he stopped laughing, the laughter stopped. But when the football kicking, he stopped kicking the football is still going upon. He cannot retrieve his action. He cannot stop the football once he kicked. But he can stop the laughing once he is laughing. So he laughed loudly is an intransitive verb. He kicked the football is a transitive verb because it involved the subject and the object. But he laughed is an intransitive verb because there is no object. So the transitive verb and intransitive verb is the difference is passing of the action of doer to object. Passing of the action of the subject to object is transitive. Passing of the action, not passing of the action from subject to object, or when there is no object, or where there is a state or being, that is the transitive. Yeah. So, transitive verb where the action of the subject does not pass to the object, or where the action or state or being is expressed, that is the intransitive verb. For example, he ran on the road. He ran on the road. He is the subject. Run in the verb. There is no object. There is no object. So the road is not the object. The road is a static thing. So he ran over the road. It is the intransitive verb. It is an action. He ran. It is an action, but it is intransitive verb because there is no object. It is of action. Now the second is the state. State is how the boy sleeps, the girl eats, the man sings, the player plays. Here there is no object. It is a state. So it is an intransitive verb. It is an intransitive verb. Now another is the being. There is a flaw in this diamond. The word is a verb and it is an intransitive verb. There is a weakness in this student. This weakness is a state, it is a being, and it is an intransitive verb. There is strength. Is an intransitive verb. So friends, intransitive verb is that where an action does not pass from the subject to the object or expressed by action, state or being. That is the intransitive verb. Now, I am going to give you certain examples in which the same word can be used from transitive to intransitive. Now, let us take for example, the ants fought with the wasp bitterly. You know, ants and wasps, I think you have seen the super hit blockbuster movie, Ant-Man and Wasp. The Ant-Man becomes huge in his own and becomes a tiny, it slips through the jail gate and all guards are watching where the Ant-Man had gone. The Ant-Man becomes the ant-sized god. So ant is a very fearsome, is an insect, although its size is small, but it does not, it does not concede defeat like that. So the ant fought with the wasp. This is a transitive verb because ant and the object is the transitive verb because the ant is fighting with the wasp. But when you say the ant fought strongly, there is no object. There, the ant is the subject and wasp is the object, and fought was the transitive. But when you say the ant fought strongly, there is no object. So here fought is intransitive verb, there fought is transitive verb. The shot sank the ship. The shot of the cannon sank the ship. In the Second World War, and also in 1971 war with India and with Pakistan and all, the torpedoes was going, the fight was happening, the torpedoes, and the torpedo fighting happened. So the shot sank the ship. Here the word sank, which is the past tense of the word sink. So the sink, sank and sank. So sank here, it is the transitive verb because the shot is the subject and the ship is the object. But the ship sank forcefully. The ship sank rapidly. Here there is no object. So sank in the second sentence is the intransitive verb, but the shot sank the ship. Here the sank is the transitive verb. Rama, ring the bell. Rama, ring the bell. Ring is the transitive verb because Rama is the subject and bell is the object. Rama rang loudly. There. The bell was rung. There in that rung was intransitive because there is no object. The bell was rung. Here Rama was the subject and bell was the object. But in the second sentence, when we say the bell rang loudly, there is no object. Because loudly is an adverb which adds to the meaning of the verb. There is no object. The horse kicked the man. The horse kicked the man. Kicked is a transitive verb because horse is the subject and man is the object, and the horse kicked the man. So the kicked is a transitive verb. But when you say the horse never kicks, the horse never kicks. Here there is no object. Subject is horse, but where is the object? There is no object. So the action does not pass. So it is the transitive verb. So I am suffering from acute headache. I is the subject. Headache is the object. So it is a transitive verb. I am feeling severe headache. I am feeling severe headache. I is the subject, headache is the object, and suffering is, I'm suffering is the transitive verb. How do you feel? How do you feel? You is the subject and there is no object. The train was stopped by the driver. The train was stopped by the driver. Now, train is the subject, driver is the object. The train was stopped by the driver, subject was there, object was there, so stopped became transitive verb, but the train stopped suddenly. Train was the subject, there is no object, so that is the intransitive verb. The driver stopped the train. The driver was the subject, train was the object, driver stopped the train, so stopped become transitive verb. The train stopped abruptly, there is no object, only train was subject, so stopped become intransitive verb in the second sentence and stopped become transitive verb in the first sentence. So the same word can be used transitively as well as intransitively, depending upon the use of this one. So English is a little bit of, it depends upon slightly, it is, the grammatical rules are there also, friends. So that grammatical rule says that if there is an subject is there, if there is an object is there, and the action passes from the subject to the object, then it is transitive verb. And when there is only subject but no object and the action does not pass from subject to the object, then it is intransitive verb. For example, the boy sleeps, the girl sleeps, the animal sleeps, the student sleeps, the teacher sleeps, the man sleeps, the women sleeps, people sleep, passengers sleep. There is no object, only subject is there. People, passenger, boy, girl, student, teacher, only subject is there, no object is there. So that sleep, that verb is the intransitive verb. When you will feel that is how to know the clue, how to know the clue about which is the transitive verb. So I am giving you the clue, friends. Now it is telling tell. T-E-L-L, tell means one person is telling to another person. So that is there now speak. So this is the word speak the truth. You speak the truth. So you become, and truth become object, you become subject, speak become The transitive verb, what do you say? Truth was not spoken. So, in this sentence, tell the truth. Tell the truth. It is an intransitive verb. It is an intransitive verb. Tell the truth. It means you was inside the bracket. So, you tell the truth. So, truth was the object. Tell was intransitive verb. You was the subject. But when you say that, where is the truth? So, there. This is so, friends, there are certain words are there in which it is always intransitive. For example, lie, die, fell. In these words, there is no object. So it is always used intransitively. Lie, die, fell, come, go, lie, die, fail. These are the words which are always used single-handedly. There is no object, so it is always used transitively. On the contrary, the words like tell, give, promise, say, speak, these words involves at least two persons. One is subject, another is object. So they are used transitively. So when you say, I promise you a book. So I and you, subject and object, intransitive verb. I assure you my support. Assure is a transitive verb because I is subject, you is there. I promise you my help. I is subject, you is object, transitive verb. I give you. I is the subject, you is object, give is the gear. I give him. I is the subject, him is the object, give is intransitive verb. I told you. I is the subject, you is the object, told is the transitive verb. Bring coffee for me. I is the subject, coffee is the object, bring is the transitive news. Give me latest news. Latest news is the object, give is the transitive verb, I is the subject. Show me the way. Show me the way. Me is the subject, way is the object, so is the transitive verb. So friends, these are certain words like give, promise, assure, tell, say. These are the point words where two persons are involved. Then it becomes transitive verb. But lie, die, fell, these are the words where only there is no object. So it becomes intransitive verb. Now friends, let us take few examples more and discuss, because transitive verb and intransitive verb are very, very important, and it is also not understood properly by even by the people of a higher education system. So let us take the sun shines brightly. The sun shines brightly. Sun is the subject. There is no object, so it is intransitive verb. But the sun shines on the farmer. Farmer became object, sun becomes subject, shines become transitive verb in the case where the sun shines on the farmer, but the sun shines brightly. There is no object, so it is intransitive verb. The boy cut his finger by a knife. Boy is the subject, knife is the object. Cut was the verb, and it is the transitive verb because the action passes. So the clock stopped in the morning. Morning is only a period of time, it is not object. Clock is the subject, so stopped, intransitive verb. When the action passes from the doer to the object, it becomes a transitive verb. When the action does not pass, it is the policeman blew his whistle. Whistle was the object, policeman was the subject, blew was the transitive verb. So transitive verb passes the action. The sun rises in the east. East is only in direction, sun is the subject, rises is intransitive verb because the action does not pass. So the beggar is waiting at the gate since morning. The beggar waits at the gate since morning. Waits is intransitive verb because there is no subject. Beggar is the subject. There is no object. The clock tick-tacking, tick-tacking, tick-tacking whole day. There is no object. Clock is the subject. So tick-tacking, tick-tacking is the intransitive verb. Put away the book. Book is the object. Put is the transitive verb. You within bracket is the subject. So put, P-U-T, put is the transitive verb. The cat sleeps on the rug. The cat sleeps on the rug. Sleeps is intransitive verb because the cat sleeps, the action does not pass. I said you, it is a state. The cat sleeps on the rug. The dog sleeps on the kernel. The lion sleeps on the dell. The horse sleeps on the stable. The cow sleeps on the cow farm. This word sleeps are intransitive verb because the action sleep does not pass from the doer. It is a state of action which it denotes that the cat is sleeping on the rug. Similarly, the cock crows in the morning. The cock crows in the morning. Crows is a verb and it is an intransitive verb because the action of the cock does not pass from a subject to an object. There is no object. Morning is only a period of time. So, the fire burns dimly. The fire burns deeply. Fire is the subject. Burn is intransitive verb because the action does not pass from the cock to the no object is there. So I take meals 3 times in a day. Take, I is the subject. Take meals 3 times in a day. There is no object because it is an intransitive verb which I take the meal. But when you say time changes all things. Thing is an object. Time changes all things. So here time is the subject. Things, all things are the object. So changes is an transitive verb. So friend, I look down from my window. I look down from my window. Look down is a transitive verb because I is the subject and window is the object. So I look down from the window. The book lied on the table. The book lied on the table. Lied is an intransitive verb. So friend, tell the truth. Truth is an object. Tell is a transitive verb. You tell the truth, although you has not been mentioned in this sentence, but it is being conceived that the you word is present. You tell the truth, but you is not spoken. Only said tell the truth. So you is the invisible subject. Truth is the object. Tell is the transitive verb. So you will say the bird sang in the green tree. The bird sang in the green tree. So green tree is not object. Bird is the subject. Sang is the intransitive verb. The little bird hopped and jumped. The little bird hopped and jumped. The little bird is the subject. Hopped, and jumped are intransitive verb because there is no object. So the boy lifted the heavy iron. The boy lifted the heavy iron. Heavy iron is the object. Boy is the subject. Lifted is the transitive verb because the action passes from the boy to the heavy iron. I brought camera with me. I brought camera with me. Camera is the object. I is the subject. Brought is the transitive verb. The dog ran towards me. The dog ran towards me. There is no object. The dog ran. This is called the intransitive verb. Balu wrote a letter to his uncle. Balu wrote a letter to his uncle. You please tell me whether it is a transitive verb or intransitive verb. The boy took shelter under the tree. The boy took shelter under the tree. Please tell whether it is a transitive verb or intransitive. There is no object. The boy is the subject. The boy took shelter. The action does not pass. The boy took shelter. So happened. Birds are flying in the sky. Birds fly in the sky. There is no object. Birds are the subject. Fly is the intransitive verb. But when you say, I met a little funny man, I met a little funny man, I is the subject, met is the transitive verb because little funny man is the object. So friends, the action of meeting passes from I to little funny man. Now, the beggar waits, the beggar sits at the roadside. The beggar sits at the roadside. There is no object. Beggar is subject. So it is an intransitive verb. So we tell the air blows. There is no object. The air blows. There is no object. The thunder, storms. There is no object. So thunder is the subject and storms is the object. So friends, we came to know from these sentences that there is a no when there in intransitive verb, there is no passing of action from the subject to the object, or there is a state of action, or there is a being of action. In that cases, they are called the intransitive verb, and there is a transitive verb. In transitive verb, the action passes from the doer to the object. In that cases, they are transitive verbs. So transitive verb and intransitive verbs are two types of verb. So you know that the verb consists of more than one word. The verb, the girls were singing. Were and singing both are verbs. So it consists of two verbs instead of one verb. The boy is reading. Is also a verb. Reading is also a verb. It consists of two things. The men are wanted. So the me and men are wanted. So are and wanted both are there. So this is verb. So friends, now after discussing transitive and intransitive verb, let us define verb one more time little deeply. So verb I already said that verb asserts something about a person. Verb denotes what a person does. Verb denotes what a person does. The boy laughs. Laughs is what the boy does. So, laughs is a verb. The girl cries. The girl cries. So, cries denotes what the girl does. So, it is the verb. What a person does. The answer is verb. What is secondly, what is done to a person is also verb. What is done to a person, place or thing is also verb. What is done? The window is broken. Means window is broken, something is done to the window is broken. So here not only what a person or thing does, but also what is being done to a person or thing. The window is broken. Yeah, the glass is brittle. So it is what is done to a person is also verb. And thirdly, what a person is also a verb. What a person is, the cat is dead. is the verb. Ram is tired. Tired is a verb there called what is a person or son. The Ram is fooled. So Ram is fooled. Is fooled is what is a person or done. So verb denotes three things: what a person does, what is being done to a person, and what a person is. So the verb is the most important and most powerful thing of an English grammar. It is one of the most important parts of speech out of 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjunction. Verb denotes an action. Verb comes from the Latin word verbum, which means it is very important. And verb is divided into 2 parts. That is transitive verb, when an action passes from a doer to an subject, and intransitive verb, when an action does not pass from a doer or a subject to an object, or it is a state or being of an action. So friends, with this today I will stop my lecture on the verb of and transitive and intransitive verb. I want to tell you today the story. Yesterday I saw that in NDTV, the famous journalist Pranay Roy was taking the interview of His Holiness Dalai Lama. His Holiness Dalai Lama is going to become 85 years old shortly. So Pranay Roy took his interview on the back door of coronavirus. You know all that India is the 4th worst country in the world as far as the infection of coronavirus is concerned. It is going to have the more than 3 lakh infections happening, and only 3 countries are above here: US, Brazil, and Russia in terms of here. Although our recovery rate is higher, but the infection is growing, and one report says by the end of July, Delhi, only the state of Delhi will have more than 5 lakh infections. So the infection is growing because the unlock was being taken into effect, and we cannot afford our economy going down and down. So the economy is partially opened, and as a result of that, the infection is also growing up. The death rate is going. Maybe day after tomorrow we will achieve the 10,000 marks of death. Already it is going to touch 9,000 now. So friends, in the backdrop of this pranay, I talked to Dalai Lama, and he asked about this negative and positive karma, and he said that in this type of world, Your Holiness, please advise the people that what should we do when there was the virus is spreading by leaps and bounds to all parts of the globe. Then the Dalai Lama said that, there was a time when people were telling my land, your land, my economy, your economy, my people, your people, my state, your state. That divisions, that comparisons, this is a time to change comparison into compassion. So the Dalai Lama advised to mankind. His Holiness said to the mankind that people stop comparison, start compassion. So Dalai Lama said his own story, that how during the Chinese aggression in Tibet, he wrote letters to the Chinese premier that stop this work. The Chinese did not stop. They marched the soldiers, the troops on Tibet. He said about the glorious land of Tibet, and I also came for the first time, that the famous rivers like Ganges, Brahmaputra, Sindh, and also they are all originated from Tibet. The ecology of Tibet, he was telling, and how in 8th century the Tibetan emperor called the Indian scholars from the famous university of India, that is the Nalanda. So from Nalanda University in 8th century, the scholars went and said, so she said, Dalai Lama said, my brain is full of Indian thought and culture, of Indian traditions, and my body, by eating Indian dal and rice and chapati, my body has become survived due to the chapati, rice and dal of India. So I am truly an Indian. So Dalai Lama was telling that when he was in 1959, when Chinese troops marched to Tibet, and there was a Dalai Lama wrote letters to the Chinese authorities. He said, you please stop this. Then the Chinese aggression coming, and Dalai Lama saved himself, and on a horse he rode throughout the night, and he was telling that the darkness, he was telling that the right now the coronavirus, the darkest phase is going on. But Dalai Lama said that next day, after riding the horse throughout the night with just one of his supporter, and the next day when he arrived at Dharmasala, that is in India, where there was a sunshine was there. So also this darkness of corona will go away someday. And you know that in 1959, the compassion and the spiritual preachings of Dalai Lama, they influenced our government, and we supported Dalai Lama. As a result of that, we become the enemy of China and the Chinese aggression of 1962. And right now, the Chinese standoff is going on in Ladakh. They are instigating, Nepal to claim that this is the territory of and Rajnath Singh, our honorable defense minister, said, look, this is not India of 1962, this is India of 2020. So hopefully this standoff resolves, and there is an amicable settlement will happening day by day. These the Gurkhas of which you are so much proud, they shed their blood for the sake of India. Now their premier is telling this is mine, that is mine, and so it is very unfortunate things are going on, while the humanity is fighting at the same time to save. We are losing our friends, we are losing our doctors, we are losing our policemen, we are losing our health workers, we are losing the migrant laborers, we are losing our family members at the time where tears are flown from the ear and it drenched throughout the body. At the same time also there is a fear of blood being shed from the same body from where the tears is going. So these tears and blood, both the things are coming in our way. So His Holiness Dalai Lama, he has taught one lesson to us, that the compassion is the main component of a human life, not the comparison. It is not what is mine in what is yours. It is not who am I and who are you, but it is taking the whole humanity, that is the 7 billion people together. That is the compassion. We saw yesterday that there is a racial fighting is going on in the United States. After the George Floyd's death, there is the racial discrimination has reached the final stage, and I can't breathe become the call of the day. The black people are coming, and it was shown that this kind of the petitions are signed by everybody. About 1 million people have signed the petition claiming the punishment for the culprits of John Floyd, and this kind of hate of one man to another man in the time when the coronavirus is in the surging mode is not a good thing to be done by us. So I invoke all of my friends to come together, to join hands and to love each other during the wake of this deadly virus, to love each other. And we do not know when the vaccine will come and whether that will be fruitful or not. Now that this is the real tough challenge posed upon the scientists. They are saying that, look man, going to Mars may be easier, but finding a vaccine of a coronavirus, it is not as quick as you planned of conquering the Mars. You know, they are telling this space has been conquered, but human life, we are not able to save it. So friends, the compassion, affability, the love to mankind is what the Dalai Lama said to Pranayara yesterday. I saw this in NDTV. It was a tear rising, the things that in the world still people live who are so much full of compassion, so much full of love, affection towards our humanity. With this, I stop, my dear friends, today, and I wish you stay safe, stay inside the house, enjoy your life, increase your knowledge. This English grammar, which is a very important thing in your life. I love this subject, so I keep on coming before you. I don't do it for any commercial purpose or for any other things other than for love of my knowledge. With that, I stay together. Bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice time. Thank you very much. Go ahead, man.